Hello, and welcome back to the Let's Go Joe podcast. Today I have a very special guest, and I hope you guys have an ear to listen to him. His name is, guess what? Yours truly, Joseph Todd. Haha. Yeah, you didn't see that one coming. Unless you're watching it, then you see I'm sitting here by myself. But nevertheless, let's get started. So, I haven't done a podcast since June 4th, 2023. And I'm going to give you a quick story on why I think this is the perfect timing to start back up, and then reason why I am starting back up. So when I was about 9 years old, I know kids start playing football at 3, but when I was like 9 years old, my father, against my mother's will, signed me up for football. So this was around the time where you paid your $75. Everybody played. If you were good, you got a lot of time. If you weren't good, you sat the bench. They did not make the bums, please excuse me, but they didn't allow teams to just play because you paid. So you really had to be good. So I was coming in as a 9-year-old big guy who was angry and who just needed a place to express myself. And football was my sport of choice, the thing that my dad allowed me to do. And my dad was pretty good when he played, so I guess it just made sense. But the reason why I brought that story up is because when I was 9 years old, I remember my first day of football practice. I thought football was tackling, things of that nature. My first day of practice, literally, we just ran. We ran all day. And I'm like, man, I'm a bigger kid. I'm not for all this running, but they just kept running us. Okay, so I get done day 1. Day 2 comes, same thing. Running. Just straight conditioning. Like I said, I didn't know, and football was new to me. I played outside with my peers, and I played defensive tackle. I played whatever position I wanted. Who cares? So day 2 goes through. I get done. Then day 3 comes. Day 3, same exact thing, man. I'm just running. They literally just have us running, and I'm sitting here like, all right, this isn't for me. So I remember telling my mom I was quitting. Mom, this ain't for me. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm quitting. So either she told my dad or however it got out, I wanted to quit. My dad said that's not an option. So I learned very young, if you put your mind to do something, there is no quitting. So that's kind of reason why I brought that, made a 2-minute story out of nothing, just to let you guys know that anything that I start or anything that you start, unless you have to pivot or switch it, you can't quit. So that's why I'm here. So I also will say this. When I originally started, I didn't have as much, I didn't have as many or as much knowledge as I do today as I had when I first started. So when I first started, I was like trying to interview people. So I like talking to people, believe it or not. I actually like sitting down and communicating with people from different walks of life, things of that nature. But finding people to interview sometimes was a struggle. So I said, man, look, I'm going to take a break from this. There's another reason why I take a break too. But I'm going to take a break from this trying to interview people because people weren't as receptive to wanting to sit down and talk as I thought they would be. But things happen. So I'm going to do a little series on where I've been, what I'm doing, until I get myself caught up with what's going on currently. And maybe I'll interview somebody else. There's one person I do want to interview though, and I'm going to shout her out because you got to give people their flowers. And I probably should have told her this publicly, but she'll see it here, and then I'll tell her publicly when I get a chance. But there's a girl by the name of Niall Spicer. And why I'm shouting her out is because during 2022, when I took I need to stop doing these podcasts, I literally was always inspired by a person who works a full-time job, started a business around the same time, well, after me, but started a business around the same time. And is always pushing forward. So she does vlogs, she does things of that nature. I'm just using her for an example because I just really want to take a minute to tell you, I see what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing, but also just to give her flowers because sometimes you don't realize you're motivating a person, and then the space we live in, people don't really tell people, but I just want to tell you, publicly, and then I'll tell you again when I see you one day. I'm waiting for that. Maybe after this, after I put this out. But it's inspiring to watch a person do so much in little time, but wake up every day and keep doing it, even when I know you don't feel like doing it, because I don't care what you say. Sometimes you don't feel like doing that. And if I'm lying, please tell me I'm lying, but I highly doubt it. All right, where have I been? So in 2022-ish, 2020, me and my brother opened up a gym. It's called TR Fit Clubs. One size fits all harness that allows you to work out anywhere. We were having some issues with making sales for 5 years. So plan B, Charlie won't admit this, but my plan was to have him, my original plan was to move where he was, and we was gonna open up a gym there, but it kind of got flipped. So my vision was always to have a gym. I'm not saying that his wasn't, but his thing was the invention of the harness. My thing was the gym. So 2020, we opened up a gym. We did very, very well. I mean, everybody had money. People was home. God is on my side. So, I mean, everything went actually, they went above my expectations of what I thought we could accomplish. But I'll tell you what, faith and wisdom needed to be matched, because I have a lot of faith, but I didn't have a lot of wisdom when it pertained to running the business. So in 2022, I'll get into details another time, just telling you where I've been. 2022, me and my brother took a leap of faith and opened up 2 locations. But let me explain this. So we outgrew a location, and we moved down the street to, we started in a 2,200 square foot building, and we moved down the street when a space opened up to a 4,200 square foot building, and simultaneously in Middletown. So let me give you some context for people that don't understand where I've been and how hard things have got, right? So, and remind you, this was dumb. If I could do it all over again, I wouldn't, because I believe that life is the best teacher. But I will say this, it was one of the best things that happened to me, because it showed me that I'm built for this, and it showed me a lot of things that I needed to see. And I'm gonna start with the one thing that it showed me that I needed to see, that was dumb. When you're financing something yourself, you don't have banking, you're not financially as literally as, I said that, I know I said it wrong, but you know what I'm saying. When you're not as financially educated as you should be, what tends to happen sometimes is you make mistakes. Now, I believe all mistakes, if you learn from them, are good mistakes, but at the end of the day, some of these mistakes I wish I could have avoided. So we opened up 2 locations, and believe it or not, when we opened up the first location in Wilmington, we had a grand opening, and I promise you I'm not lying, right? So at this point, we probably had, I say, about 340 members. I have the exact numbers, but I'm just going to ballpark it off the top of my head. We had about 340 members. We're doing pretty well. I want to say a month after we went from that small little 2,000 square foot building to the 4,200 square foot building, something called Fail Auto Pays. It's cool, it's business. I'm not, just hear me out, it's not a shot at anybody. There's a thing called Fail Auto Pays, where in a 2-month span, we probably lost 68 members. So I remember when we expanded, I was happy, like, man, we got more space, we can do this, we can have bigger classes, we got better equipment, like, all makes sense. Day after, in my mind, because it happened fast, right after, we probably lost 68 members. So prior to this, that wasn't something that I was used to. I'm thinking, all right, all of our members are going to stay, everybody's happy. It's not true. I found out, again, I'm going to say this one more time, that that's not true. But what I also learned through that process is preparation. And also I learned some knowledge that it's business, like it's strictly business. And what I mean by strictly business is people are going to spend their money where, how, and where, and when they want. So when you go from a gym with thriving, low rent, and you up your rent bill, you up your leasing bill because you got new equipment, and then you up, your staffing bill because you got more staff, new staff, and you expand to the second location, which I'll get to, but my vision was for me to be primarily more at the second location, build it up, and then, prepare my exit strategy. Didn't happen that way. We lost about 60 members, 60 to 68 members, and we weren't able to replace them as fast as we lost them. So anybody that does math, you know our memberships, what they cost, some of them being unlimited, majority of them being either unlimited or three days a week. That is a big financial hit. But forget that, hey man, it's part of the business. That's not this financial hit that I really want to focus on, and the reason why I've been going so long. The financial hit that cost us the most was being ambitious over being smart and opening 2 locations with no financial backing, and you set yourself up for a new 3-year lease. I ain't gonna get into details how much that lease costs each month. By the grace of God, we got out of it. That'll be for another episode. But a new 3-year lease, a new staff, which we hired a bunch of people in preparation, letting them know that they were going to Middletown. So that happened. And then on top of all of that, it didn't work. Literally didn't work. I don't know what it is with Middletown. Maybe, now I'm just like, it wasn't supposed to work, but it did not work. I'm talking about flyers, thousands of flyers handed out, Facebook ads, being a friend, you name it, we tried it. Nothing worked. And it took us 2 years to figure out that we needed to pull the plug on it. But in that 2 years, I want people to understand this. We still was losing people from the Wilmington location. Some of them, we were getting some new people here and there, but we were losing people. In our Wilmington location, the one that was working, and excuse me, the location that we had in in Middletown just wasn't working. I'm talking about like wasn't working. I would wake up every day, drive 45 minutes, leave my house at 3:30 in the morning after everybody quit on me. Side note, let me make sure I put that out there. Only kept, I want to say within 6 months, I had 2 staff. And then after about a year, I had 2 staff. So I want to make sure I put that out there. So all the staff we hired was gone. So after about 6 months, I found myself having to drive to Middletown every single morning right before, in order to open up. So Wilmington was, we had a couple staff that were still there. We were doing fine there, but Middletown had literally 0 staff. So I had to wake up every morning, ride to Middletown, open up there, sometimes by myself. Shout out to Taj and E. They know who they are. They helped me out a lot up until, their schedules changed. But I had, majority of the time, for about a good 8 months, I had to drive there by myself, open up by myself, close by myself, drive to Wilmington, the location that was working, work with me, E, or Taj, and then sometimes close also, depending on, what our day looked like that day. But I want to put that in perspective, because that's a lot for anybody. But nevertheless, we got through it. So let's keep going. Let's keep walking down this list. So after everybody quit, I still was ambitious. I still said to myself, you know what, I'm going to wake up every day and give it my all. But I want y'all to realize that during the last 6 or 7 months of, before we decided to pull the plug, which I'll get into another episode also, we were down. We probably lost. We were losing, for about 7 months, we were losing about $7,000 a month. And what I mean by losing $7,000, we even lost a lot more money before then. But at one point, it was somewhat balancing out, and we had a lot of money saved up to hold us over. But when 2024 came, that was the most, and I don't like saying stuff like this because I don't believe in stress, but that was, if I had to identify the most stressful time of my life, it had to be 2024. And I'm going to say this, it was 2024 because my entire life, especially in this business, I've always been financially stable. I've always known how to make money, how to save money. I'm not big on spending money. I buy sneakers and tattoos and glasses. All things that I can always put a stop to and get back, because you can always get a tattoo. Glasses are always for sale. And because of places like StockX, you can get sneakers. So I can always put a hold on it, because it's something that you can always get back to. I don't really drink. I don't really like partying. That's not for me. So I can put myself on hold. So at one point in time, I want y'all to understand, for all you dreamers out there, that this is what it took for us to stay in business. Shout out to my boy Daryl, another person I'm gonna give some flowers to, because Will too, and I'll get to him, my best friend. But Daryl, at a time, and I always say, man, God puts people in your lives, and this is why I don't do people dirty, and I stand by making good relationships with people. So Daryl, shout out to Premium Security, my guy. At one point, he was providing opportunity for me to work, and he don't even know this, so he about to find this out too. So I was working for him Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays, and some Saturdays at 8th and Lounge. Good place, respect the owners, all of them. So I was working there. I would work on Monday night. I want people to understand this. I told y'all about how I was opening up Middletown. So I was waking up. I'm gonna just give you my day by day. On a typical Monday, I would wake up 3:30, be in Middletown by 4:25. Between 4:35 and 4:40 ballpark to open up. I would work for Middletown from 4. This is like a 30-minute ride from my house, a little bit over, but who cares? I would ride from Wilmington, Delaware to Middletown, Delaware. Excuse me, I apologize. Open up, work there until 8 o'clock. And remind you, these classes, the biggest class is 5 a.m. I got like 7 people. And this is the big dream I got. I'm talking about like 7 people coming, and I got these big dreams of being this multimillionaire with this billion-dollar dream, company, and I'm coming in at 7 people, and I'm like, yo, man, this is like a dream of mine, and it's not working. Just wanted to make sure I put that out there. So our biggest class was 5 a.m. We would have around 7 to 8 people, 10 at the most. Let's just say 10. Next class, shout out to everybody that came to it. It's not a shout at y'all. I'm just telling y'all what happened. Next class would be 6 a.m. because all of our classes are hour back to back. 6 a.m. You might have 5 people, 4 to 5. And 7 a.m. on a good day, 1 to 2 people. This went on for too long. I ain't gonna tell you how long it went on, but I'm gonna tell you what my life looked like trying to manage that. So I would work. I'm gonna just start on a Monday. I would work for Daryl, my man. Shout out to you, Daryl. I really appreciate you. I just want to say this again publicly. But I would work for Daryl. I would work in Middletown. Come back, like I told you earlier, to the Wilmington location. Sometimes sleep in my car. We had enough staff, or if the class wasn't big, take a nap in my car. Work there till about 12, to the last class, people that know our class schedule. Take a quick nap, then work out. Or sometimes I didn't take a nap, I would just work out. I would work out from 1 to about 2. Take a little break, and I know I had to close. At this time, I was closing every Friday night, Tuesday night, and most Wednesday nights, because at the time, Wednesday was back day. So I was closing Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and I know I was closing every Friday. Go home, take a quick shower, and work for Daryl. So I was working Monday all day. Shout out to my wife. I'm sorry, Ashley. Shout out to my wife, because through it all, she stuck with me. But Middletown was doing so bad that this was my schedule. I would have to be there. I would work with Daryl. Sometimes he would let me slide out, work there until 1. I would help him clear the building out, go home, take a quick nap, right back up Middletown, Tuesday. And I told you I opened up almost every day. So Monday through Friday, I want you guys to get a vision of what my life looked like, all just to chase my dreams. And I'll say this one day to another person, but I just want to make sure that I'm letting you guys know this. So that was Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends, like I said, shout out to my boy Will, I would work for him too. So the weekends, I was working for Will brunches. At the time, I was doing brunches in the NFL. And then all while this was going on, our business was in a major deficit. So I was paying bills at my house, and out of my own money, I was paying bills at the gym. So for all you people that, and I'm not even ashamed to say this anymore, at one point I was, for all you people that have big dreams, listen to this part, right? There was times, right, after paying daycare, that's all I had. I literally had no extra money. coming in smiling. I dare somebody from the gym tell me, oh, they seen me and I was upset. That never happened. Every time you see me, I had a smile on my face because at the end of the day, I signed up for this. So it's no point in me walking around upset. Even though I was half the time, I was definitely upset walking around with no money. I don't think that's a man's job to provide. Especially my wife didn't sign up for a broke man. I'm not calling myself broke by any means. But at the time, when you working that hard and you never home, and then, matter of fact, here's a quick story for you, right? And I've told this story to some people. Killings Pond. Anybody familiar with Delaware, if they've ever been to Killings Pond, I think a ticket is like $10. One of my lowest points in my life. Like I said, shout out to you, Ashley Todd, my wife. Say shout out to you because throughout it all, I never really felt like less of a man. I mean, I wouldn't. I'm too cocky and confident for that. But at the same time, she never made me feel like less of a man when we were going through this hard time. But I want y'all to hear this part right here, right? So, Killings Pond on a ballpark is a $30 day trip. I can't make this up. $30. I didn't have enough money to take me, my wife, and my, at the time, 1.5-year-old son to Killings Pond. Do y'all know what that did to me? I'll tell you what it did to me. It inspired me to work harder, to never experience. Y'all thought I was going to say something else. No. It inspired me to say, you know what? If I can make it through this, I can make it through anything. But back to what I was saying. I just wanted to put that sidebar in to show you how hard it got. But I was literally working every day, all day in pursuit of my dreams. When I say every day, all day, I legit mean every day, all day. And on top of all of that, I'm going to work as if I'm not phased, even when I was phased. Because at the end of the day, my family couldn't afford for me to lose everything and start over for a couple of reasons. One, I was in crazy debt. Two, I'm not a quitter, like I said earlier. So I just wanted to start off with the introduction to my new way of doing this podcast with just some quick stories, just a little introduction, and just a little, I'm back moment. So I will be back. I will be doing a lot of stories on what I've learned. So if you're a young entrepreneur out there, a young hustler, a young go-getter, somebody with big dreams, you might want to pay attention. If not, I really don't care. But if I can inspire you to chase your dreams, no matter how hard it gets, because I'm going to have other episodes where I'm discussing how hard it got and how hard it still is to this day, even though I'm in a way, way better position. I just want y'all to know that no matter how hard it gets, chase your dreams. Because at the end of the day, I made it through 2022. I made it through 2023. And I'm still standing. My business is still standing. We're on our way back to the top. Because I believe after every storm, which was, God never said there wasn't going to be storms. But after every storm, there's a lesson. And after every storm, the sun comes out. So I just want you guys to be inspired. Listen to this series on where I'm going to take it. I'm going to get into some stories. And again, I'm back. Hopefully better than ever. Inspired. Smiling like always. Ready to take on the world. Because through all of this, people that I've shared my dreams with, my dreams still haven't changed. They're here. They're in my imagination. And as God being my business partner, I can't fail. I have one business partner. His name is Jesus Christ. I cannot fail. And I'm going to say this publicly, so when it does happen, and people are like, oh, this, I don't care about none of that. My business partner is undefeated. He doesn't lose, so I can't lose. But I just want y'all to know, part one, where I've been, doesn't matter. I'm back. Hopefully this little rant of me just talking inspires somebody. I'm just going to shut up right now. And then next week, you get another episode. Peace out. See you guys next episode.